Welcome back, everyone, for more Santa Lucia. I climbed out of my cave to upload another episode. I know it's been forever. I am so sorry. This year has been throwing me so many wrenches. I kind of had to put Santa Lucia in the back burner for the longest time, and I'm really sorry about that. Just bear with me. I'm still alive, so let's do this. Last time, Kane. Can we just talk about Kane? Kane is really cute, and I fully support Ben going that way, going towards Kane. But I also hope that he mends things with Bryan. I'm biased. I'm sorry, but there's just something about you know, video game geeky jocks that just kind of hits right. I don't know. I'm just. Anyways, so that happened. He confessed, and if I was Ben, I'd say yes. But granted, Ben is never in the right state of mind ever, so I'm okay with him having to hesitate for a second. But and also he hung. I know Ben hung out with Chris and Russell, and yeah, they had a good time there. But Kane, I'm Team Kane. Just gonna say it. Let's continue before I have complete brain rot. Yeah. Who agitated to sleep a wink last night? Today drags on at a snail's pace. My focus shifts and wanes with every class, hitting its lowest point right about now at the tail end of Fresh Sem Lab. By now, I'm barely aware of what's happening in class as a growing anxiety burns in my chest. I haven't been on a date in a long time. There's no telling how smooth this one's gonna go. Oh, wait a second. He did. I'm sorry, guys. It's been 2.5 months. Please bear with me. I kind of forgot that Ben said yes. I thought he hesitated because I know he has that issue with hesitating about a lot of things. So, sorry. He did the right thing. He said yes. Alright, let's continue. There's no telling how smooth this one's gonna go. It's not like Eric and I had a lot of pocket money for dates in the first place. Not to mention my arrangement with Bryan actually meant no dates either. Speaking of the panda, he's sitting on the opposite side of the room by the exit door. Seems he's not too keen on participating today, merely nodding along with whatever Chris is rambling about. This leaves just the other three to contend with both Chris and Russell, who made his grand return as senpai earlier this week. Before I stopped paying attention to what was going on, Chris assigned us to read an article online. I think. You working hard there, kid? Russell pops up from behind me. Huh? You seem kind of spaced out. I'm okay. Just thinking, I guess. Clearly, since your monitor's off. Crap. I shake the mouse to wake the computer up. Some truly deep thinking I see. Really starting to take this whole philosophy thing to heart, huh? He pats my back. See if you can last a few more minutes, okay? He walks over to Bryan, who's looking out the window on the other side. Man, do I look that tired? Just like Russell said, it's only a few minutes before class is dismissed. I try to make a quick exit and avoid Bryan as much as possible. Ben! Before I hear my name being called. What now, dude? I turn around and see Chris at his desk waving at me. What's up? Hey, so... I asked Karina and Russell about this, but I'd like your opinion too. He ruffles through his pockets before pulling something out. Handing it over to me, I see it's a small, ornate box made of wood and what seems to be leather. It's, it's gonna be my 7-week anniversary with Shay soon. 7-week anniversary? He scratches the back of his ear. I thought it sounded kind of strange too, but Karina told me it's something worth celebrating. Figures. It definitely lasted longer than any of Karina's relationships. Anyway, I picked this up at Pier 39 the other day. He motions towards the little box again. I really, really hope there isn't a ring in there. I gently lift the lid as delicately as I can, preparing myself for the worst. I'm instead pleasantly surprised when I noticed a colorful shell inside the box. Well, wow, it's pretty. His ears perk up. You think so? Yeah, she's gonna love it. And knowing Shay, if it's coming from you, she'll love it no matter what. I was hoping it wouldn't come across too gaudy or anything. I also thought it was, a little gay. I chuckle. Coming from him, that's a compliment. That's a relief. I hand him the box back and he pockets it. Thanks, Ben. I should get going. She's probably waiting for me. Good luck, dude. He dashes off with a smile on his face. Seems like the relationship is going pretty well. I scan around the room and see that everyone's gone by now. What a relief. Might have some time to myself before meeting up with Kane. Might as well go get ready and... I'm barely outside of the room when I collide with someone around the corner. I'm sorry, I didn't notice you there. A hand on my chest pushes me back into the computer lab before I'm able to understand what's happening. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Dude, we need to talk. I'm about to push the person back until I realize it's Bryan. The initial shock inside me turns to pure vitriol. So you think if you throw me around and I'll be in a good mood for be in the mood for a sit down after? He walks away from me. Sorry about that. Just haven't been able to get you alone for a single second ever since we last talked. You won't reply to my texts, you won't talk to me, you won't even look at me when we're in the same room. Fuck! It's like I'm not even there. He takes a deep breath to try and calm himself down. Look, I just want to talk. Closes the door behind him. I want us to work this out together. My heart beats against my chest. Then maybe you should take the hint, huh? The words cut through before I even realize I'm saying them. Bryan's expression turns to genuine hurt. Why am I so angry right now? Of all the resentment that's been building up. Why should we only talk when it's convenient for you? I wanted to talk that day. But couldn't wait to get back inside Diego. So excuse me if I'm not in the mood to hear you out. But you said you were fine. Am I supposed to be a mind reader now? Did I look fine? Just crying my eyes out when I went back to my room. It made me feel like I was such a damn burden on you. Toss aside because I wasn't the toy you were in the mood for that night. I guess I didn't realize. He looks away again. Said something, maybe I would have. Well, you were right about me. Huh? I'm the dumb asshole who fell for the hot jock who won't commit to anyone. I ended up being exactly what you thought I was gonna be. What else is there to say? Don't put it like that. How else should I put it then? You should have known better. I did know better. You just aren't that kind of guy. I couldn't help myself. Fold my arms. Why? I... Fuck if I know. It's having too much fun or something. Look forward to every time we do it together. With you, things just felt different. I feel a twitch in my arm. Is fun the only thing you care about? You knew I'd end up like this, and you figured it was a risk worth taking because it felt different to you. Thanks for using me, I guess. I really appreciate it, you jackass. He winces. Seems like it hit closer to home than expected. I am sorry. Don't be. If anything, I should be thanking you. What? Grab my phone out of my pocket. Been able to use that app now. After thinking it over, I realized you were right. Again. Nothing lasts forever, so I need to enjoy the present. I even got a date lined up tonight. Without you, I don't think I would have ever mustered up the courage to let loose like this. So thanks. You don't have to feel bad about us anymore. Go out and have all the fun you want. I'm sure you'll find another guy who's just as fun as I was. That's the whole point, isn't it? Swing open the door and make my exit before he has a chance to say anything. Catch one last look at his face before I leave. The rancor inside is begging me to feel vindicated by the pain on his face. But instead, all I feel is sorrow and a desperate wish to take it all back. I run out the building and onto the path in front. Instead of taking the usual way back to the dorms, I go the opposite direction. I run for as long as my legs are willing to hold me up. Faces blur as I go, as does the scenery. Places I hardly ever walk past jet by in my peripheral view. I collapse in an empty grass field near the gardens, eyes stinging and burning about as much as my legs. The clouds shine bright in the sky, hanging over my head like an all-seeing mirror. My chest raises up and down as I gasp for air. It feels like my lungs are about to burst. I didn't even run for that long. It takes a moment to calm myself before pulling my phone out of my pocket. I'm disappointed at the first place my eyes wander towards is that app. Guess I'm sitting on 3 messages there right now. I cover my eyes with my arm as I lay in the grass. Good job, Ben. You're such a stable guy. Connie would be so impressed if he saw you right now. With my other hand, I wipe the mad fur under my eyes. Get together, man. This feeling, the things he said, reminds me of why do I always run? I should head back to my room and get washed up. I smell like a mix of sweat and grass. Maybe in a few minutes or so. Ben? Fucking seriously? Why can't anyone leave me alone? With trepidation, I remove the arm covering my eyes. To my complete embarrassment, it's none other than Kane standing above me. Are you okay? Of course it had to be him. Sit up, grimacing all the while. I'm fine. Don't worry. Thank God. I knew I recognized you when you ran past the geology building. I thought something bad might have happened, so I went after you. Didn't mean to scare you. Is everything alright? You were running as if someone were chasing you. If there's anyone I don't want to talk about this with, it's him. No, I'm alright. I guess I just felt like jogging, you know? I avoid facing him directly. I can tell my eyes are all puffy. Bit too much energy and not enough exercise. I see. Okay. Well, you sure jog fast. That's nothing. You should see my friend Karina. She goes at least twice as fast. Really? Yeah. She even got third place in that marathon that happened a few weeks ago. Wow. That's so cool. Kane sits by my side. You still down for tonight? I scratched the back of my neck. Yeah, no problem. You said you wanted to go to the Saint Street Cafe, right? He nods. Yep, I'm looking forward to it. Just give me some time to wash up and change my clothes. Don't want to stink up the place and all. You smell fine. I swear I see his nose curling up a bit. Nah, not gonna take the chance. Alright. Here, take my hand. I'm surprised by his strength as he lifts me up onto my feet. Come on, I'll walk you back. You sure? If you've got something you need to do before we meet up, I don't mind. Kane shrugs. You've got another class in a few minutes, but it can wait. This whole date thing is how we can spend time together, right? We can just start early. Plus, just between you and me, I've been chomping down breath mints all day. I'm ready to go at a moment's notice. He flashes me a toothy grin. I don't want you to miss an assignment or something on my behalf. My professor does like his pop quizzes. Tell you what, meet me at my dorm around 5. Gives me plenty of time to take a shower. Sure thing. I'll text you after class. It's a date then. We wave at each other before splitting off in different directions. I think I managed to distract him enough to not notice my red eyes. Part of me thinks about postponing my shower until he comes to pick me up. That way maybe we could have taken one together. But the reasonable side of me quickly takes over. The better move is to wait and see how the date progresses, then go from there. Not long after 5, I get a text from Kane saying he's waiting on a bench outside. Newly freshed up and with a clean change of clothes, I'd say I'm as ready as I'll ever be for this. Before I leave the room, I let Zach know I'll be gone for a while tonight. I steps outside the side door. I briefly scan the field for any sign of my wolf friend. Sure enough, he's sitting a few feet away, tapping at some game on his phone. Sorry to keep you waiting. He quickly shoves the thing in his pocket and stands up, straightening out his shirt. No worries. Are you ready? I nod. Yep, let's go. We walk side by side as we make our way up the main path. Let's go. We go most of the way in silence. Now that the date has officially started, I'm getting the jitters. Small talk that used to be so natural seems almost too difficult now. Like I needed to weigh each word carefully. The cafe is surprisingly crowded by the time we arrived. Never seen this many people here. It's Friday evening after all. Wait, oh, sorry, that's Chris's voice. It's Friday evening after all. Think they still have room for us? Don't worry about that. He holds the door open for me. A waiter soon makes his way for us, wearing the same uniform Chris does when he works here. At least the Aussie is only here on weekends. Table for two, please. Should be booked already. Under which name? Kane adjusts his glasses. Akiyama. My ears perk up at that. I guess I never caught his full name before. Now that I think about it. That definitely doesn't sound like an English surname. Right this way. The waiter leads us to a more secluded part of the cafe, and we take our seats facing each other. Thing you called in advance. I didn't want any nasty surprises. He's the type to plan in advance, huh? I'm so disorganized by comparison. So, have you been here before? Kinda shakes his head. No, actually. Thomas is the one who recommended it to me. He brings his girlfriend here all the time, apparently. Oh, okay. It's pretty good. A friend of mine works here. I suggest getting the turkey avocado sandwich. His tail swishes softly behind him. Turkey avocado? Can't say I've ever had that. It sounds very Californian. I let out a laugh. Right? I thought the same too. It's pretty dope though. Guess I know what I'm ordering then. I hope you like it. I think I'll get it myself too. Not in the mood to try anything new? I'm a creature of habit. It's a cat thing. Probably. Our conversation is interrupted by another waiter who takes our order. By the time he leaves, silence has fallen between us. Whenever we hang out, it's usually to play video games together. This feels, a bit out of our element. So I take it you're not from Cali then? Connie shakes his head and puts down his glass of water. Not at all. Actually, takes a moment to think what he's about to say. Wasn't even born in the U.S. Really? Where are you from then? Japan. Oh, that's pretty cool. I never would have guessed. You don't have an accent at all. That sounded a lot less rude in my head. Sorry. No offense or anything. You're good, dude. I barely speak any Japanese myself. My mom was stationed in Misawa when when she met my dad. Further explains when he sees the confused look on my face. It's a small city on the island of Honshu. That's like northern Japan. They got together, and I was born not long after. Takes another sip of his water. My mom had to move back to the States when I was 2. We ended up in New York for a few years, but we didn't stay. Kinda sounds like Bryan. Another army brat, eh? I don't know how I pulled it off since I wasn't that great of a student, but USL offered me a full ride scholarship. Being able to stick to one place for more than a year or 2 has been quite nice. For sure. So your full name is Kane Akiyama. Yep. He points at the KA on his jacket. See? That's... seems very obvious now. My dad made it for me before I flew out here. He was always sad I didn't keep up with my Japanese. Not interested in it? Just never took the time, I guess. It's real awkward when people expect me to speak Japanese because of my last name, though. I can relate somewhat. I'm a half-breed myself, but I don't know much about one side. My dad's a mix of German, Dutch, Italian, and whatever else. Then there's my mom, who's full-blooded Native American, but I don't know the details. It's not like I talk to her much. I'm sorry. That's alright. I just knew she took off somewhere before I was even in preschool. She couldn't have been that great of a person if she abandoned her only child. I shrugged my shoulders. I don't have too much interesting to say about my ancestry. He lowers his eyes. It sucks she did that. But you turned out just fine in the end, so you should be proud. Flatterer. Thanks. Want to know a secret? Sure, why not? My real name's not... Oh, I think it's because it's supposed to be Kane. My name's not Kane. Well, I mean, it is, but it's not quite at the same time. What do you mean? It's actually pronounced Kane, not Kane. He enunciates his name as clear as he can. It's a Japanese name, but I got tired of correcting people. So I just go by Kane now. Huh. I never would have guessed. I take a moment to consider my next question. So, which do you prefer? He seems almost taken aback. I never really thought about it. Everyone uses the Americanized version here, so I just rolled with it. I guess I wouldn't mind if he called me Kane. I'll make sure to remember that. Kane. His face flushes completely red at my words. The wolf looks like he's about to say something else when another uniformed waiter stops by our table carrying 2 plates. 2 turkey avocado sandwiches. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was Chris. Wait, actually, is it Chris? Let's see. My eyes widen when I recognize that accent. Yes, it is. It is Chris. Yes, Chris. Ben, I didn't expect to see you here tonight. I thought you only worked on the weekends. Kinda looks over at Chris, which seems to spark a bit of familiarity in him. Hey, I know you. You're Chris, one of Blake's coworkers with the mentors, right? Yep, Ben is my mentee. Chris turns back to me. Yeah, I usually only work weekends. I need a little extra cash for my... I quickly wave a hand underneath the table so only Chris could see. With my Meepa team, he manages to pivot away from spilling the beans on his secret. God, how has he not blown his cover yet? He puts the 2 plates in front of us. Anyway, I'm glad you're making friends outside the group, Ben. Russell told me about you and Bryan. I hope you two can patch things up. My blood runs cold. Fucking hell, dude. How can one man do this much damage in such a short time? And who does Russell know about this anyway? I'll have to have a little chat with the line later. Okay, I gotta run. More tables to serve. See you around. Once the menace finally leaves, Kane and I are left dumbfounded. I'm not sure where to go from here. Kane takes a bite of his sandwich. I wait for him to finish chewing. So, how do you like it? Oh, it's really good. You were right. Kane swallows his bite, then takes another one. That's one thing at least. Would have sucked if I recommended something he hated. How are you liking the frat? Definitely a better smooth talker than I am. He's obviously ignoring that dangling thread Chris left in his wake. I'm having a great time. Never thought I'd join a fraternity. Oh, really? Yeah, figured it was more of a... Take a bite of my sandwich and swallow, buying myself enough time to formulate a follow-up. Or something I wouldn't vibe with. I don't blame you. I thought the same too. Blake was my mentor last year, and he's the one who pushed me to join the G Pi Beta. Said I was the exact kind of guy they were looking for. He said something like that to me too. He's a cool dude. If a bit too much of a white knight, now that I know Russell's side of the story. Yeah. Why did you decide on USL anyway? It's pretty far away from New York. Well, I haven't lived in New York for a while now. Before I moved out, my family was living in Washington. And like I said, I got a full ride scholarship. Hard to say no to those, especially in a field like geology. It was either USL or Texas A&M. I've lived in Texas already, so I decided to go with a change of pace. Somewhere to, he puts what's left of his sandwich down and wipes his mouth with a tissue. To start anew, so to speak. Kinda like me then. Santa Lucia seems like the furthest place I would possibly go from Chicago without upsetting my father. I haven't regretted that choice so far. That's a relief, at least. My parents were too excited to see me move so far away on my weren't too excited to see me move so far away on my own. Guess that's the curse of having an only child, right? What do you mean? He blinks at me in confusion. Oh, I meant like neither of us have siblings, so your dad and my parents both have to learn to let go for the first time, right? That can't be easy. I wince. Poor guy had a sensitive topic without even realizing it. I never know what to say when something like this happens. Being honest kills the mood, but lying seems so much worse. I'm not actually an only child. Oh, I thought you mentioned your mom left her only child behind. You'd be right technically, but my dad had a kid before me. My big sister, Jess. She is quite a bit older than me. We were really close, but my mom didn't seem to like her much if what my dad said is true. He seems to pick up on me using the past tense when referring to my sister. That's the softest way I can put it. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm just messing everything up tonight. No, you're fine. It's all in the past. I couldn't have known. I don't exactly walk around with a billboard saying dead sister alert or mommy issues incoming. He chuckles and smiles. I figured a bit of dark humor could alleviate the situation. Alright. We both finished our sandwiches soon after. After a small argument about who would foot the bill, we both agreed to pay the other's meal. Since we ordered the exact same thing, it wasn't really necessary, but it felt like the right thing to do. I stepped out of the restaurant, thankfully without any further interruptions from Chris. Who knows what other bombshells he'd drop in front of my date if he had the chance. We step out into the street. It's a lot darker than it should be at this time. Anything else you had in mind? Well, to be honest, yeah. I'm not sure if we're on the same wavelength. Depends. I'm open to anything. It'd be a shame to stop here. It's still pretty early. You want to come back to my place? Maybe we are. Won't Thomas be there? Kane shakes his head. Nope, he's at his girlfriend's tonight. Is that why Kane picked today for our date? Sly dog. Sounds like a plan to me then. Couldn't go to my room even if I wanted. I don't think Zach would appreciate a complete stranger barging into his private space. We barely make it past the end of at the end of Saint Street when a sudden downpour starts. Crap, this is bad. Should make a run for it. Begin our run back to the frat as fast as our legs can carry us. I didn't expect to do this much running today. I made it out of the made it through the door to the frat house before the rain finally begins intensifying. The water splashes down like spears battering the concrete. Yeah. Had some freak Cali weather, I guess. Connie stands up, his ears dripping with water. Oh man, I'm soaked. This sucks. Yeah, tell me about it. His hoodie is dark gray, and I can tell he's shivering a bit. We should probably head upstairs. Yeah. We passed by a few other members who were caught in the bad weather, cursing their luck. Connie takes me back to his room, unlocking it with his key. Get in. Let me turn up the heat a bit. He steps to the other side of the room and fiddles with something I can't make out. It'll take a bit, but maybe it'll help us dry off. Sorry, Ben. I didn't think this would happen. Don't worry about it. Not really anything either of us could have predicted. I guess we could have checked the weather before we left, but I don't think it's rained more than once or twice since I arrived here. In the corner, I see Kane is still bent over, messing with what I assume is the heater. Won't lie, the situation is leaving me with plenty of ideas. But first, I'd like to make sure I'm presentable. Mind if I use the bathroom? Go ahead. You know where it is. Thanks. I step into the tiny bathroom and stare into my reflection. My hair is a mess. My fur is matted in several places. I look like I just came out of a sauna. Guess it could have been worse. I swirl some water around in my mouth to get rid of the aftertaste of tonight's dinner. I stop cold when I feel my phone buzz in my pocket. Without a second thought, I check it. And immediately I wish I hadn't. One new message from Bryan. Should I even open it? I considered deleting the message right then and there, but curiosity got the better of me. Hey, forgot to tell you earlier. I wanted to give you back the money for your ticket. Ticket? What's he talking about? A flash of recollection hits me like a truck. That's right, I gave him some money so he could get me a ticket to his game. But that was last weekend, right? Completely forgot about it. That. Oh. Oh. Just gonna drop that on my lap? Couldn't you have reminded me later? Given what was going on between us, I probably wouldn't have gone even if I remembered. The only person I was interested in going was the only reason I was interested in going was Bryan was playing. But ever since that day, can't help but see him differently. The message continues. Left it with your roomie. See you around. I meekly attempted to type something back. Sorry, I forgot. Delete. I'll make it up to you. Delete. Let's give this another chance. Delete. It's too late now. Not after everything I said. Okay, thanks. Send. I step out of the bathroom. Only be met by a half-naked Kane ruffling through his closet. His fur bristles in surprise when he sees me. Colonel Ben! He covers himself with a random shirt he grabs. Wow, hey there. My bad, I thought you'd be in there longer, so I was getting a change of clothes. It's all good, man. He seems almost afraid of my reaction. Do my best to set him at ease. It's shirtless, it's fine. I've seen more than my fair share of dudes naked. He seems hesitant, but ends up putting the shirt back in his closet. These hardly fit me anymore. And I couldn't find anything I liked. Could you... I feel so weird. His attitude reminds me of a certain dragon I know. Judging by his physique, he has nothing to be ashamed of. His jacket and hoodie really hide just how ripped he is underneath. Kind of a turn on, if I'm being honest. Look. I grab my collar and pull it up. How's this? Now we're equally naked. Okay. Seems the same tactic I employ with Zach also worked here. I guess I can thank the dorm's public showers for making me a lot less self-conscious than I used to be. Kane sits down on his couch, his movements stiff and awkward. Mind if I sit down next to you? He shakes his head. Go ahead. I take a seat by his side as smoothly as I can. His body radiates an intense warmth. It's very pleasant. Another silence falls between us. You know, I had a great time at dinner. This whole day has been really fun. Thanks. I had fun too. Would now be the moment? What would he do? Bryan's face pops up in my mind. Who cares? I scoot closer to Kane, who freezes like a deer in headlights. Hey, relax. We can take this slow if you'd like. Okay. I lean back on the sofa. Kane doesn't follow my lead, though. He stays upright and stiff as a board. It gives me a chance to get a closer look at his toned back. How the hell is this guy so well built? You know, I don't mean to stare, but you're a really good looking guy. He seems to bristle up a bit. Do you work out a lot? Yeah. I used to work out when I lived with my parents. I let myself go a bit during my freshman year, but Blake motivated me to hit the gym when I joined the Cheap Pi Beta. Helps that the closest gym is downstairs, right? Yeah, for sure. He really helped me keep my diet and routine in check. His posture shifts a bit, letting go of some of that stiffness. I don't like being around others like this, though. Just like Zach, then. I was right. I'm sorry. We can try this another time if you'd prefer. No, you're good. I mean, you're gay too, so it's not like you're gonna judge me or anything. Those words remind me of the weight I carried back in high school. There's a lot I can infer about him just from this. I don't think it's something I should press him on, though. Yeah, I'm not judging you, dude. If anything, I feel like I'm the one who should be ashamed between the two of us. The wolf turns around and takes his first good look at me. Not flabby or anything, but I wouldn't call myself ripped either. You look... He swallows. You look good, man. Don't be ashamed. Thanks. I place a hand on his leg. A shiver visibly spreads throughout his body like a current of electricity. I rub his thigh in a comforting manner. Ben, I've never done this before. Sliding down from the couch, I move in front of him and kneel. I place a hand on his chest, parting his fur between my fingers. You can let me take the lead if you want. I notice a growing bulge between his legs. I continue rubbing his thigh, shifting my hand closer to his groin. It's hard to contain my own growing shaft now. Kane lets out a noise halfway between a moan and a sigh. His muscles are still remarkably tense. I can see why Bryan had fun with me our first time together. There's something strangely arousing about taking the lead like this. But then, I look up at him after hearing him call my name. Instead of the pleasure I expected to see written on his face, there's clear and obvious discomfort. I stop dead in my tracks. Kane, are you okay? All the confidence I was exhibiting has flown out the window. Kane just stares at me, saying nothing. Well, why did you stop? His his tone is a mix of concern and fake excitement, like an actor fumbling his lines. Kneeling down in front of the wolf, I feel like an idiot. A blundering, half-naked idiot. Again. I stand up suddenly, much to his confusion. Ben? I... Oh, can't do this. I'm sorry. His face shifts between several emotions. Puzzled, disconcerted, relieved. Are you sure? Yeah. I can tell you're not into this. This isn't gonna work. I... I... He lowers his head. Sorry. It's not your fault. We set up this whole date. You knew what it was supposed to lead to. I'm not an idiot. No, you're not. Don't force yourself into this because you think I'm expecting it. Okay. He stands up from the couch and moves towards the closet. Can we still hang out at least? Yeah, let's do that. The rest of the evening is pretty awkward. Put our shirts back on, still soaking wet, and return to his couch. We do our best to find anything to distract from what just happened. Eventually, the rain comes to a stop. I mentioned to him I should start heading back home. He insists on walking back with me, but I refuse in case the rain starts up again. We hug each other goodbye, and I tell him to take care. It doesn't take long for me to reach my room, though I wasn't going to risk getting caught in another freak meteorological incident. I text Kane when I reached my front door. I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me. See you soon. That burning rage from earlier has returned. It's hotter than before, but this time it's all directed at me. What the fuck was I thinking, taking advantage of Kane like that? What if I hadn't stopped myself? I'm so fucking pathetic. Doing all this just to get over a hookup gone wrong. The fire burns out. All I feel is a gnawing emptiness. Alright, we're gonna leave it off there. Yeah. I was really happy for them, but like... Ooh. That ended awkwardly. It's obvious that both their intentions were kind of... They weren't on the same wavelength. To... Because you have one who has a lot of, like, issues with, like, being uncomfortable because there's a lot of shame involved and isn't really ready for, full-blown sex yet. And then you have Ben, who was, like, just trying to be a horny motherfucker. Man, that was awkward. But that makes sense considering Ben's whole arc. So, wow. Well, regardless, I'm still Team Kane. I still love him, and oh my gosh. But wow, that was really awkward. But it was also kind of real, and I was like, oh, this is weird. Well, next time, everybody. Let's see if we can start mending things with Bryan a little bit, and hopefully we can see a bit more with Kane's situation. So until then, everybody, talk to you all next time. Bye.